Hello, friends, and welcome to Bookku. Today, we'll be discussing The Art of Letting Go by Nick Trenton. Understanding yourself and letting go of control is a deep, yet incredibly empowering experience. When we truly know ourselves, we begin to understand what we can control and, more importantly, what we can't. Often, we hold on to past pain, unmet expectations, and rigid self-identities. These attachments bring us nothing but stress and suffering. But once we learn to let go, a new kind of freedom opens up within us. It's human nature to want to control everything around us. We think if we can control every situation, we'll be happy. But the truth is, controlling everything in this world is impossible. People won't always meet our expectations. Life won't always go according to our plans. And when things don't happen the way we imagined, if we keep getting upset or blaming ourselves, our mental health takes a toll. Instead, if we accept that some things are beyond our control and simply let them go, life becomes much easier and more peaceful. Clinging to old wounds only breaks us down from the inside. Maybe someone said hurtful things to you in childhood, a friend betrayed you, or you were hurt in a relationship. You may carry these things for years. But do they really help? Or do they just weigh on your heart and mind? The truth is, as long as we cling to old wounds, new ones will keep forming. That's why we must learn to forgive and move on for our own peace. Forgiving someone doesn't mean reconnecting with them. It just means letting go of that pain for your own good. Many of us tie ourselves to a fixed identity. We think we always need to be strong, perfect, or look a certain way. If we fail an exam, we label ourselves a loser. If a relationship fails, we think something is wrong with us. But this mindset limits us. Our true identity isn't defined by one success or failure. We can reshape ourselves every day. If we see ourselves as flexible and open to change, life becomes more beautiful and manageable. The best way to understand yourself is to observe your feelings. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? When you get angry, is there an unfulfilled desire behind it? Reflecting on these questions helps us know ourselves better. The more we understand ourselves, the more clarity we'll have about our lives, what we can control, and what we should let go of. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or not trying. It means focusing on what's in your hands and letting the rest be. For example, if it's raining, you can't stop the rain, but you can carry an umbrella. Similarly, if someone isn't meeting your expectations rather than trying to change them, you can adjust your expectations. Sometimes our pursuit of perfection causes us pain. We think we must always do everything flawlessly, but that's unrealistic. Mistakes are part of being human. We must learn to forgive ourselves for them. If we keep blaming ourselves for every mistake, we'll never reach our full potential. Self-awareness and letting go hand in hand. When you understand yourself better, you realize what truly matters and what's become just a burden. If something keeps making you unhappy, letting it go is often the best decision. It's not easy, but when you start doing it, your life will feel lighter and full of new energy. The most important part of this process is trusting yourself. When you trust yourself, external situations don't affect you as much. You know you're on the right path, and everything else will eventually fall into place. Life won't always go according to your plan, but if you understand yourself and know how to let go, you can remain happy no matter what. The biggest things that trouble us are our own thoughts and emotions. We often get tangled in them, labeling them as good or bad. But what if we observed our thoughts without judgment? This is called non-judgmental observation. Watching your thoughts and feelings without labeling them. When we do this, our mind becomes calmer, clearer, and more balanced. Whenever a thought arises, our first reaction is to judge it good or bad. If it's pleasant, we call it good. If it's painful, we call it bad. But this judgment traps us in a loop of suffering. Sometimes we hold onto a negative thought and keep replaying it in our heads. This hurts our mental health. But if we just observe the thought like a passing cloud, it comes and goes without disturbing us. Imagine sitting by a river. Leaves, flowers, and sometimes trash float by. If you try to grab everything, you'll get entangled. But If you just observe the flow without reacting, you stay calm. Apply the same idea to your thoughts and emotions. Let them come and go. Don't label them as good or bad. It sounds simple, but can be hard to practice because our brain is wired to categorize everything. When a thought like, "I'm not good enough," comes up, we usually treat it as a fact and feel sad or frustrated. But if we recognize it as just a thought, not the truth, it won't bother us as much. The same goes for emotions like anger, fear, sadness, or shame. When we judge them as bad and try to suppress or avoid them, they only grow stronger. But if we observe and allow them to pass, they lose their power over us. Non-judgmental observation helps us regulate our emotions better. Once we learn to see our emotions without judgment, we gain better control over our lives. Usually, two things happen. Either you get swept away in anger and do something you later regret, or you try to suppress it, which causes it to smolder inside you. But if you simply observe the anger and say, "Oh, I'm feeling angry right now," without labeling it as good or bad, the anger will gradually start to subside. This kind of observation also improves our decision-making. When our mind is clear and we make decisions without getting entangled in emotions, those decisions are often more accurate. Suppose you have to make an important decision about a relationship, but you're overwhelmed with emotions. You might make an emotional decision that isn't right in the long term. However, if you observe your emotions like an impartial observer, the decision will be more balanced. This is a kind of mental exercise that needs daily practice. If you want to adopt it, here are a few easy ways. 1. Mindful breathing. When your mind is overwhelmed with thoughts, just focus on your breath for a few minutes without judging whether the thoughts are good or bad. Simply watch them come and go. 2. Journaling. Sometimes writing down your feelings helps you understand them. When you write, you begin to realize what you're feeling and that it's just a thought or emotion, not necessarily a truth. 3. Nature observation. Going outside and observing nature is also a great practice. When you simply observe the changing colors in the sky, the rustling of leaves or birds chirping without labeling them, your mind starts to calm down. 4. Meditation. Practicing meditation for 10 to 15 minutes daily where you just observe your thoughts can be very beneficial. You don't need to do anything, just sit and observe your thoughts without labeling them. When we practice non-judgmental observation, we gradually realize that we are not our thoughts or emotions. They are just temporary experiences that come and go. This brings more peace into our lives, improves our mental health, and helps us make wiser decisions. So, the next time a thought or emotion arises, instead of clinging to it, just observe it like you're watching a movie. Don't judge it, don't give it meaning, just watch it. When you do this, you'll feel a different kind of freedom and peace. One of the biggest things that holds us back in life is our own beliefs. These beliefs are formed from childhood through our society, family, friends, and personal experiences. Some beliefs help us move forward, but some weaken us from within. These negative beliefs become so deeply rooted in our minds that we don't even realize they're the real cause of our anxiety, overthinking, and low confidence. But if we identify and challenge them, our thinking can change, and we can develop a more positive mindset. Whenever we try something new or face a difficult situation, our mind bombards us with negative thoughts like, "I can never succeed, people don't like me, what if I fail?" or "I'm not good enough." These beliefs settle into our minds without conscious thought and gradually shape our perspective. But these beliefs are not the truth. They are just stories our mind has created. If we observe and analyze them, we'll realize they're limiting us. We need to ask ourselves, 1. Is this really true? 2. Do I have any solid proof that this belief is true? 3. Or is it just a fear created by my mind? Suppose you have a big task ahead of you, but you carry the belief that I can never do well. If you accept that belief as truth, you won't even try, and even if you do, you won't do it with confidence. But if you challenge this belief and ask yourself, is it really true that I can never do well? You'll realize it's just a thought, not a fact. Maybe you've done well many times before, but your mind tends to remember the failures more. These kinds of negative beliefs also feed our anxiety. When we overthink something, it's usually because of these beliefs. If you believe that people will judge me if I talk to them, then every time you think of talking to someone new, your mind will start overthinking, did I say it right? Did I say something wrong? Maybe they didn't like what I said. All these thoughts will trigger nervousness and fear. But if you challenge this belief and ask, is everyone really out to judge me? Haven't I talked to people before who liked me? You'll realize the belief is false and needs to change. Our brain forms specific patterns. If we repeat negative beliefs often, our mind accepts them as truth, and our thinking follows that pattern. But the good news is, we can change that pattern. Neuroscience shows that our brain is flexible. This is called neuroplasticity. It means that if we make a consistent effort to change our thinking, we can develop a new mindset. To challenge negative beliefs, the first step is to recognize them. For that, we need to observe our thoughts. Whenever you have a thought that scares or stops you, write it down. Then ask, 1. Is this belief really true? 2. Is there any proof, or is it just fear? 3. Can I see this from another perspective? 4. If my friend was in this situation, what advice would I give them? Suppose you believe, I can never be a leader because I'm an introvert. Challenge that belief. Is every leader an extrovert? Many successful people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg were introverts, yet they became great leaders. When you challenge such beliefs, you'll realize they were just false fears created by your mind. To replace negative beliefs, we must build new positive beliefs. If you believe I can never achieve anything big, change it to, if I try, I can achieve a lot. Repeat this often until your mind starts accepting it. Affirmations are very helpful in this. When you fill your mind repeatedly with positive beliefs, your subconscious mind gradually starts accepting them. Say things like, asterisk, I am bigger than my fears. Asterisk, I can change my thinking. Asterisk, I am confident. Asterisk, I have the power to succeed. Asterisk, I trust myself. Make it a habit to say affirmations every morning and before sleep. This will help your brain slowly build a new pattern. Mindfulness is also a great method to change negative beliefs. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you understand that they're just thoughts, not truths. Regular mindfulness practice increases awareness and helps you consciously control your mind. Another great method is to surround yourself with positive people. The people you spend most time with deeply influence your thinking. If you're around negative people, your mindset will become like theirs. But if you stay around positive, inspiring people, your thinking will change too. Also, whenever a negative belief tries to hold you back, challenge it with action. If you believe I can't do public speaking, take small steps. Speak in front of friends, then in small groups, and gradually on bigger stages. When you take action, your brain naturally starts letting go of the old belief and adopting the new one. Changing negative beliefs isn't a one-day task, it's a process. But if you take it seriously and practice daily, your mindset will gradually shift. Anxiety and overthinking will reduce, and you'll feel more confident and positive. So next time a negative thought comes to mind, don't just accept it. Challenge it, question it, prove it wrong. When you do this, you'll realize you can change your thinking, and when your thinking changes, your life changes too. Our mind is constantly filled with thousands of thoughts, worries about unfinished tasks, memories of the past, or fears about the future. When all this piles up, our mind feels heavy and cluttered. We start feeling anxious, lose focus, and experience a strange kind of mental clutter. To clear this clutter, there's a very simple but powerful technique, brain dumping. This is a method where you write down everything that's going on in your mind without any filters or interruptions. It lightens your mental load, releases your emotions, and brings clarity. Imagine your mind is like a room. If things are scattered everywhere, disorganized and messy, how would you feel? Probably uncomfortable and stressed. Now imagine cleaning that room, removing the junk, and organizing everything neatly. You'd feel great, right? Brain dumping does the same, but for your mind. It clears mental clutter. When we're troubled, Our mind tends to repeat the same thoughts over and over. For example, if you have a deadline for an important project, but are also worried about household chores, unresolved issues, or personal tensions, your mind becomes overburdened. But when you write all this down, your mind starts to relax. It's like freeing up your laptop's RAM. When unnecessary files are removed, the system runs smoothly. The biggest benefit of brain dumping is that it helps us effectively release negative emotions. Whenever you feel stressed or anxious, pick up a notebook and start writing. Write anything and everything on your mind, without overthinking or filtering. It doesn't need to be structured or grammatically correct, just pour out what's inside. This technique also helps clear the subconscious mind. Sometimes we don't even realize what's truly bothering us. You might think it's one issue, but the real reason lies elsewhere. When you brain dump, you begin to discover hidden thoughts and emotions connected to yourself. It's also a great way to increase self-awareness. Suppose you keep thinking about a particular person but don't understand why. You feel confused and restless. If you start writing about it, slowly you'll begin to gain clarity. You'll understand what's truly bothering you. Thank you for watching the video till the end.
Like, comment, and subscribe.